Yo, what is up, guys? It's Cohen back here again today with another video. This is very different. I don't think I've ever done this before. I'm today going to be reacting to one of my own videos, particularly as you can see at the top of the screen here and probably from the title of this video. I'm going to react to my season predictions for this year. This was like my third or fourth YouTube video I think I ever uploaded, so as you can probably see below my face cam, there is the original face cam from the video. It's not very good quality. For some reason, I was only looking at the top, like the top of my shoulders and my head for some reason. So I apologize for the bad quality of this video, but I thought it'd be fun to look back not only at what my videos used to look like, but more importantly, look at how I saw this season playing out for not just the playoff teams, but also I have the all NBA teams on here. I have the all defensive teams. I have my award winners, and ultimately I picked who I thought would make each conference finals and win the championship. So we'll go through that now. Drop a like and subscribe. If you want to see more videos of like this where I react to my old videos or like my predictions and stuff, let me know. I have made some other prediction videos on this channel. I made a video where I was making predictions for the second half of the season as well at about the midpoint. So if you want to see me go back and react to that, let me know in the comment section below. So we're going to go ahead and start. I'm not going to play through the video because the mic quality is awful and I don't want you to hear that. So instead, I'm just going to skip forward. And right here, these are my Western Conference standings predictions. So I had the Lakers as the 1 seed, the Clippers as the 2, Blazers at 3, Mavs at 4, Nuggets at 5, Jazz at 6, Rockets at 7. So this was when I wasn't sure if James Harden was going to stay or not. I think I made this prediction assuming that Harden would probably stay for most of, if not all of the season, but knowing that there was going to be some turmoil. So that's why the Rockets are up there. 8, I had the Suns. 9, I had the Warriors. 10, I had the Pelicans. 11, the Timberwolves. 12, the Grizzlies. 13, the Spurs. 14, the Kings. And 15, my Oklahoma City Thunder. Some people were mad at me for this pick, but I knew that the Thunder team wasn't going to be very good, especially because I assumed we were going to full on tank. SGA and Dort kept us relevant for a little while, but especially when SGA got shut down, this team just went to the bottom. So if SGA didn't play more of the season, we probably would have been the worst team. And even right now, we're only about 3 games out. So starting with the top of the Western Conference, I still think the Lakers and Clippers could have been 2 of the top seeds, but they faced a lot of injuries, so I don't feel too bad about those picks. I still think those were, coming into the season, the top 2 teams in the West. The Blazers were definitely a little bit high. I was really high on them because of the Covington pickup. I liked Derrick Jones Jr. pickup. I thought Dame was going to continue his bubble play, which he has been really good, just maybe not quite as good as he was in the bubble. I thought Nurkic was going to come more back to strength, and of course, Nurkic and McCollum both faced injuries throughout the season. So that's another thing you have to keep in mind. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought the Blazers were going to be better. The Mavericks, I thought they were going to be better too, it seems like. Yeah, I think it was just that the lack of Kristaps a lot of this season, as well as I think I underrated the impact of a guy like Seth Curry on this team. They just really didn't mesh to start off the season. They also had a lot of problems with COVID to start the year, and ultimately they have been one of the best teams in the second half of the season. And so I don't think this was necessarily a terrible pick. So I'm not too bad on these first 4 picks. The Nuggets at 5 is right about where they are. I think they're at the 4 spot right now, so not too far off at all. The Nuggets were a team that I thought was going to kind of struggle to start with the season because I knew Jokic was going to be really good, of course, but I figured that they were going to have some problems meshing together since they had a couple big losses. They lost, of course, Jeremy Grant and Plumlee to free agency. I knew they were dealing with some injuries and stuff. Gary Harris has had problems staying healthy. Same with Will Barton, and of course, Gary Harris ended up getting dealt. The Aaron Gordon pickup, I think, really saved their season in a lot of ways. And of course, Jokic playing like the MVP also deserves some credit there. The Utah Jazz, this is probably my biggest miss so far. I thought they were going to be the 6th seed. Did not realize how good they were going to be. I know they were missing Bohan throughout the bubble, and so that was something I took into consideration when putting them here. I was like, the Jazz are going to be better than some people thought, and they were way better than even I thought. So shout out to the Jazz. I already mentioned why I had the Rockets here at 7. The Suns at 8 was definitely a miss. I thought the Suns team had top 4 potential. It was just like what I mentioned with the Nuggets. I wasn't sure how quickly the Suns were going to mesh together because there was a lot of new faces. You had Chris Paul joining the fray as a more ball dominant player. They were typically used to Devin Booker handling the ball at pretty much all times. Adding in a guy like Jay Crowder as well. Other free agent acquisitions. Like Dario Saric coming back into the fray, DeAndre Ayton having to adjust. I just really didn't think that they were going to adjust as well as they did, and of course, due to the fact that they are the 2 seed right now, they adjusted much faster than I thought they were. I think I did mention in this video that the Suns I thought had potential to jump, but if I didn't, then who knows. The Warriors here, I had them missing the playoffs, well, making the play-in tournament, but missing the playoffs to start off. I did not predict who would make it through the play-in tournament in this video because I wasn't entirely sure how that was going to go. I didn't want to predict that far. So yeah, this is about where the Warriors could finish. It's potential they could finish at the 8 or 9 spot, I believe. Yeah, the Pelicans, I definitely thought they were going to be better than they were. I thought their talent would mesh better. They're a really talented team. It just didn't mesh very well. The Timberwolves, I do think they had potential to get up this high. Obviously, D'Angelo Russell missing a lot of the season was a big problem. Karl Anthony Towns missed time with COVID and personal things. So he did miss more time than I thought he was going to. I do think the Wolves are going to make more of a jump next season. But I mean, right now, I think right now they're the 13th team in the West, so only 2 spots down. So this wasn't too crazy. This is probably one of my bigger L's here, was putting the Grizzlies this low at the 12 spot. The Grizzlies are much better than I anticipated them being. I thought missing Jaren Jackson Jr. would cost them a lot more than it did. And now since he's been back, he hasn't even looked like he obviously is a good player, but since he's coming back, they've played kind of worse recently. So I don't know. We'll see with the Grizzlies, but I think guys stepped up more than I thought they were going to. Kyle Anderson is a guy, for example. And even though John Morant, people forget, he missed a lot of time with an ankle injury earlier in the season, and they still kept up with the rest of the teams in the Western Conference better than I thought they were going to. So the Grizzlies deserve a lot of credit. The Spurs, another big miss. I just thought they were going to be worse. DeMar DeRozan especially has proven me wrong. He's been an all-star caliber player and jumped them from where I thought they were going to be at 13 to a top 10 team. And then the Kings, I knew the Kings weren't going to be very good. And of course, I mentioned the Thunder. So these are my Western Conference predictions. Now I will go ahead and find my Eastern Conference predictions. By the way, let me know what your predictions were before the season in the comment section below, or just let me know which of my predictions you thought were terrible, which were okay. Feel free to clown me. That's the whole point of this video. So now we have the Eastern Conference. So I had the Bucks as the 1 seed. So I got the top 3 seeds right, just not quite the order. It was Sixers move up, and then Nets move up to 2. Bucks move down to 3. There is still potential for the Bucks to jump the Nets, but I don't think they're going to at this point in the season. So I just barely missed it. I thought this was pretty good of me picking the Sixers to be the 2 seed, because a lot of people anticipated the Sixers to be pretty bad, but I was high on the Sixers. I was high on them last season when they had Al Horford, and I thought they made great acquisitions. Seth Curry, obviously. I thought Tyrese Maxey was a draft steal. Danny Green, I thought, was really going to help them out. And then, of course, they brought in Doc Rivers as opposed to Brett Brown. So I knew the Sixers were going to be good again, but I did have the Bucks above them. I thought the Nets were going to struggle a little bit. Keep in mind, this is before the Nets got James Harden, this whole video, so keep that in mind when we get more into like the playoff prediction type stuff, because that could definitely change now that they have James Harden. So that's why I had them at 3 here. At 4, I had Boston. Boston just couldn't stay healthy this year. I don't think people realize how beat up Boston has been. Like, their top 5 guys, say like Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and whoever you want to put that 5 spot, whether it's like a Fournier, Tristan Thompson, a Robert Williams, they really have not been healthy all at the same time for like the entirety of this season. There's been like, I think it's been a total of like 200 minutes where their top like 4 or 5 guys have all been on the court healthy at the same time. It's been rough for Boston, and I think that's really costed them. Of course, now Jaylen Brown is out for the season. I did think Jaylen Brown was going to have an all-star caliber season. That is one prediction I made before the season that I'm happy about, that I predicted Jaylen Brown would be an all-star. But obviously, they're not at the 4 spot right now. The Miami Heat, a lot of people were really mad at me for putting them at the 5 spot. I just thought they were going to have problems meshing. I don't know. I thought losing Jay Crowder would be a big thing. I don't want to say they were like a bubble product, but I do think that they overperformed a little bit. And so I anticipated them falling back down a little bit. But this is where they were when they made their run last season in this 4-5 area. So I don't understand why people were so mad about that. The Toronto Raptors here at 6, definitely miss on that one. They also had dealt with a lot of COVID, a lot of injuries, and the fact that they had to move to Tampa Bay was a bigger factor than I guess I previously anticipated. And so them being here at 6, I don't think was crazy before the season, but obviously looking back, not as good as I thought they were going to be. The Indiana Pacers, I don't know why I keep trying to say Indianapolis Pacers. The Indiana Pacers here at the 7 spot, yeah, they just didn't really mesh. A lot of injuries, a lot of COVID issues, and obviously there were issues where TJ Warren didn't come back for the season. Nate Bjorken, their coach, not really having good control of the locker room, a lot of issues there. I do think the Pacers had higher potential than they ended up playing to. It just didn't work out. I did have the Wizards making the playoffs here at the 8 spot. Whether or not they do make it is to be seen. I think right now they're in that 9-10 range, and so if they're able to win the play-in tournament, they could make it here, but I did think the Wizards were going to make the playoffs. Obviously, losing Thomas Bryant for the season really hurt that. The Atlanta Hawks, I had them as a 9 spot. Credit to them, proving me wrong, jumping way up into that 4-5 range. Credit to the Hawks. The Magic, They had that fire sale that I've been waiting for seasons for the Magic to have that fire sale, and they finally made that decision. So good for them, jumping down from where I thought they were going to be around the 10 spot to much lower. Obviously, Fultz and Jonathan Isaac being out for the season also contributed to that. Chicago Bulls here at 11, right around the range that they are. So this was a pretty good pick by me. Obviously picking up Vucevic, I think I said at the halfway point of the season, I thought the Bulls were going to jump into the playoff picture, and clearly they have not. They still can. It's just very, very difficult, and I think next season is going to have to be a big one for them. The Hornets, I did not expect them to be good this quickly. Gordon Hayward played much better than I thought he was going to. Terry Rozier made a huge jump, which is credit to him, because I was one of the people who did not like that contract that they gave Terry Rozier when they did give him that contract when Kemba Walker left. He has proved me wrong. He's been fantastic for them. Shout to him. Cleveland Cavaliers, yeah, they've been really bad. The biggest miss, though, the New York Knicks. I have them here at the 14 spot, about 8 spots below where they are right now. Julius Randle, man. That's how good Julius Randle's been. If you want to see why he's the most improved player, or why I think he's the most improved player, just look at where I have the Knicks before the season and where they ended up. Like right here. From like here to up here with the Toronto Raptors. I don't even know if you can see my mouse now that I'm thinking about that. Yeah, I don't know. I just did not think that the Knicks were going to be as good. Credit to Tom Thibodeau. Credit to Julius Randle. Credit to Derrick Rose coming in and helping them out in the mid-season mark. Credit to RJ Barrett for having a great sophomore season. Emmanuel Quickley with a great rookie season. And finally, I have the Detroit Pistons here at 15, which I did get right. So that is all of my Eastern Conference predictions. Let me know which ones you hated, loved, and which ones were the worst. Like I said previously, the whole point of this video was to clown me and see what I predicted wrong. And now we get into my award predictions. So if this will load, my MVP for the season, I predicted LeBron James would win MVP. I did not realize, or obviously he was in the race before he ended up dealing with that injury. And so I don't think this was a bad pick. A lot of people's pick was Luka Doncic. The only reason I didn't pick Luka is because I didn't think his team was going to be good enough. And obviously they have not been. If Luka's team was like a top 3 seed, he would probably be in consideration. It just wasn't in the cards, I didn't think, for the Dallas Mavericks. Nikola Jokic was a guy who a lot of people were picking, and I've said previously, you're probably going to see a tweet resurface soon when the season ends. I thought Jokic was going to win an MVP at some point in his career. I think this is just a little sooner than I thought he was going to. The Nuggets have just been better than I thought they were going to be, and in the wake of injuries, he's really carried that team. It's going to try and play an ad. Okay, sorry about that. There was an ad real quick. I had to cut that section out, but here with my Defensive Player of the Year award, I picked, wow, what a good stop on my face I did there. I picked Ben Simmons for my Defensive Player of the Year, obviously still in the race. I do think Rudy Gobert is going to end up winning it, but Ben Simmons was one of my better picks for one of these awards. I thought it might be his time. Great defender, obviously very versatile. He can guard all 5 positions. And I thought the Sixers being that 2 seed was going to help propel him. Obviously, they are the 1 seed right now, which is very impressive and should give him more consideration for the award. But I think the Jazz being better than I expected them to be ends up getting Rudy Gobert the award in the end. As for most improved player, I had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Obviously, him getting hurt and it kind of ended his run in the end of the season, but also the fact that Julius Randle has led the Knicks to so much success. I think ultimately, even if Shai did end up playing out the season, I do think Julius Randle would have ended up winning the award. I thought around mid-season mark, it should have been Shai's award, but the way that Julius Randle has played, especially in this last stretch of games, he deserves it. It's his award to lose, and I don't think he will. Probably my worst pick of all these awards, I picked Lou Will to win the 6th Man of the Year award. I thought with Montrezl Harrell leaving, the Clippers would end up getting the 2 seed, and much more bench scoring opportunities would open up for Lou Williams, who had a good season last year. He declined way faster than I thought he was going to, and I thought often the 6th Man of the Year kind of just goes to like a really recognizable name. I think now it's probably going to go to like a Clarkson or like a Joe Ingles or something like that, but I thought that Lou Williams' name recognition would get him the award in combination with the opened up bench scoring without Montrezl Harrell. So that was probably my worst pick. Probably my first correct pick is LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball definitely can win Rookie of the Year. It's up in the air whether him or Anthony Edwards. Also, this is a terrible picture I picked here for LaMelo Ball. It's up in the air whether him or Anthony Edwards will win the award. Obviously, LaMelo dealt with injuries. Part of me thinks LaMelo's still going to win the award, so we'll see if this prediction is right or not. I can't really say with this one, but this is probably one of my better predictions alongside the Ben Simmons one. Coach of the Year, I had Frank Vogel. This was definitely possible if the Lakers were not super beat up and injured between LeBron James and Anthony Davis missing a ton of games combined. This was possible, but obviously now I think it's probably going to go to Monty Williams of the Suns if I had to pick right now. And then Executive of the Year, I had Rob Pelinka of the Los Angeles Lakers, of course. I don't know who it is now. I guess maybe Daryl Morey for the Sixers is probably who I would give it to at this point, but you could talk about that. So those are my award predictions. Now we're going to get into my All-NBA teams, which might make some people mad. Remember, this is before the season. So for my first team, I had Luka Doncic, James Harden, LeBron James, Giannis, and Anthony Davis. I don't think this was a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. Luka was someone who a lot of people thought could win MVP. James Harden's James Harden. LeBron, it was my MVP pick. Giannis and Anthony Davis. I do still think these three, between Luka, LeBron James, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, will probably still end up on the All-NBA first team. I think Steph Curry slides up here also as well. And then, of course, actually, no, wait. LeBron does not make it. I don't know what I'm saying. Luka and Giannis can still make it, but I think it's Luka, Steph, Giannis, and then Joel Embiid and Jokic. If you didn't know, Jokic and Embiid are both eligible for the power forward spot. So I think it's going to be those five guys. So for my second team, I had Steph, Dame, Kawhi, KD, and Jokic. I don't know why I didn't think Steph was going to have a crazy season. I guess it was just because I didn't see him having the team success, so maybe that was part of it. But I do think Dame makes one of these All-NBA teams. Same with Kawhi. Kevin Durant, I'm not sure because he's missed a lot of time, so I don't know if he'll make it. And then Jokic will obviously be on first team. Anthony Davis, I thought was going to be healthy for the full season, which I was incorrect about. And then here we have, actually, I don't know if you can see all of these. Yeah, if you can't see behind my camera, Jokic is here for the All-NBA second team center. I apologize. I'm now realizing that I am covering it up. And then for the third team, I had Russell Westbrook, Devin Booker, Ben Simmons, Jason Tatum, and Joel Embiid. Embiid, of course, being an MVP candidate, will probably be on the NBA first team. Tatum, I do think, still makes it. Ben Simmons probably won't make one of these teams. Booker is in consideration as well as Westbrook. So I think all in all, these are pretty solid teams. I think obviously the ones I'm missing are like Zion and Julius Randle potentially. But Zion, I didn't think his team was going to be that good. Well, obviously they haven't been that good, but I didn't think he was going to be so dominant statistically. And then Julius Randle, I just had no idea he was going to be that good. Also, nice face I'm making here down in the corner. So next, we will move on to my all-rookie and all-defensive teams. So let's see here. I've got, I'm surprised I didn't put Dort on all-defensive team. We'll talk about that. So my all-rookie teams are not good. They're awful, honestly. Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, LaMelo Ball, Obi Toppin, and Killian Hayes. Killian Hayes, of course, got hurt. The emergence of Julius Randle really stopped Obi Toppin from making this list. Ball and Edwards will be all-rookie first team as the two leaders in the Rookie of the Year race. James Wiseman just got hurt. I don't think he'll end up making it here. I thought Bol was really going to play a lot for some reason. And I had Okoro, Cole Anthony, Patrick Williams, and Denny Avdija missing most of the season and not really playing up to the level I thought he was going to, will cost him this spot. No Tyrese Halliburton, which the reason I didn't have Tyrese is because I didn't think he would start, and ultimately I didn't think he was going to get a ton of playtime. But obviously he did, and so he should have been on these teams. So these are my all-rookie teams. There are obviously a lot of guys you can talk about. You could talk about like an Emmanuel Quickley as well. Jayshawn Tate might make one of these teams. It's hard to predict all-rookie teams. As for all defensive teams, I had Ben Simmons, Marcus Smart, Giannis, Anthony Davis, and Rudy Gobert. This is a pretty good team. I think that three of these guys will probably end up on this team: Gobert, Giannis, and Ben Simmons. Smart, I think he just missed too much time, and Anthony Davis, of course, definitely missed too much time. I think Drew Holiday might move up to this team, as well as maybe like a Bam or something like that. Draymond Green should also have been on this list. Dort is another guy who could make it. I did not expect Dort. Well, I knew Dort was a great defender, of course, as a Thunder fan, but I didn't expect him to get so much national recognition, and so I didn't think he was going to get one of these teams. I thought he was just too young. Matisse Thybulle is another name you could put on here. Maybe instead of Kawhi Leonard. I know Kawhi Leonard is known as this great defender and all of that, but he hasn't been as good defensively this season as he has been in the past. And so we'll see if the national media recognizes that or if they just give him the award. I think another ad's going to come up, so you might see a cut right here as I go ahead and find the next thing. I believe next all we have left are the playoff predictions. Yeah, it's going to be an ad. All right, sorry about that. For some reason, there were two ads back to back. Blame my channel. Okay, so going into this is my Western Conference Finals prediction. I thought it was going to be Lakers versus Clippers, and I believe I picked Lakers in 7 coming out of this. I don't think that's a bad pick. That is still something I could see happening. Of course, the seeding probably won't allow that, but there is potential for this to still be a Western Conference Finals matchup, and if they did match up, I'd probably still stick with the Lakers if they were healthy. Of course, them being healthy is a problem, but I think this was most people's consensus like conference finals prediction going into this season. Then in the Eastern Conference, I had Bucks versus Nets. I believe I picked Bucks in 6 in this one. This was reminder. This is before the Nets picked up James Harden. So if you're mad about that, that's why. I thought it was going to be a great battle between Giannis and Kevin Durant here, and I thought ultimately the Bucks getting Drew Holiday would get over the hump against the Nets. And then for my finals prediction, I had Lakers Bucks. I think I had the Lakers repeating. I can't remember. Yeah, okay. Well, so watching it, I'm not sure if you could hear that or not, but watching it, yeah, I did predict the Lakers to beat the Bucks in, I think it was 6 or 7 games. So I thought the Lakers were going to repeat, and I thought LeBron James would win Finals MVP. So that is my predictions from earlier in the season. Obviously, a lot of these still are possible. Some of my award predictions, like a Ben Simmons Defensive Player of the Year, a LaMelo Ball Rookie of the Year, like a Bucks Lakers Finals is still definitely possible. But a lot of them very far off, as we saw with my Knicks pick. So let me know what you thought of these predictions. Let me know who you think will win the finals. Which of these was the worst prediction? What was the best prediction? Let me know if you like these type of reaction videos to my own stuff. And if you do, I'll do more in the future. With all that being said, I will see you guys later. Real one, say it back.